Hey everybody, we're back here another week. Unfortunately, no work's been done.
What are you gonna do?
I know. We'll explain.
Yes.
Turns out all along I was already ready to go. I guess you just didn't know. And now I'm back to doing all that I wanted. I'm gonna finish all the things that I started. If I'm being honest, I just didn't let it show. But turns out all along I was already ready to go. Ready to go. Ready to go.
Alright guys, so just to give you a little few updates here. Well was supposed to went in last week. It didn't. Main problem there was the guy that we had hired to do the well, his main rig caught on fire and burnt. And so that rig's down. He did have a backup rig, thank goodness.
But a part broke on it, and it is back ordered.
And it is back ordered like everything else in this country right now. It seems like everything's on back order. So we did talk to him last week. He is hoping within the next week or two he can get it back up and going and get over here and dig our well.
Fingers crossed.
But and the steel was supposed to went up this week.
It didn't.
That didn't happen. There's just a shortage of manpower around here. I mean, I'm sure it's probably all across the United States wherever you guys are watching this at.
Well, and it doesn't help any when your builder gets food poisoning.
Yeah, and so it just seemed like there was a lot of issues this week.
Yep.
Trying to keep my cool about it. I mean, it's really nobody's fault. I can't really get mad at anybody. Just things have happened this week. And so, you know, we did start this build earlier than anticipated, mainly because steel prices was going up, so we went ahead and ordered. We covered that in the previous video. And so, even though it feels like we're behind,
we're still really ahead.
we're still really ahead, yeah, because we wouldn't even plan on being at this stage at this point. So, again, I'm not a very patient person. Just ask my kids. But I'm trying to be patient because, again, all these things that have happened, really, like I say, there's really not anybody's fault.
Right.
It's just things happen. And if you've ever built a house before, and you know we've done construction, we've done flips, and so we're kind of used to this sort of thing. Something's always going to come up and rear its ugly head, and you just got to work your way around it or find a way ththrough it. So, and that's what we're doing. We're trying to stay positive. So what we did do, if you notice behind us, we did bring little Debbie on up here.
Yes, we did.
We realized that, you know, making trips back and forth to meet contractors over here to do things. While we was over here doing things, you know, we got our mailbox up. You know, I told you last video we got a temporary power put in. So just being back and forth that sort of thing. It's a 2-hour round trip for us every time. It's an hour here and an hour back home. Well, you do that 4 times in a week. Well, there's an 8-hour work day gone.
Yeah.
And so, you know, that eats up a lot of hours, especially in the afternoons and the evenings, where we feel like we could have better use of our time. If we was here, we could be doing things here, or if we was at our other house, we could be doing things there to get it ready to go up for sale.
Yep.
And so we just felt like the travel time was a lot of waste. And so we went ahead and brought our camper over here and set it up. That way we can start spending part of the week here without having to have that commute back and forth, and then spend part of the week over the other place if there's nothing going on over here and get work done over there. So.
Well, and that also gives us a place that we can call home here when we are visiting, so that we're not always taking up somebody else's couch or somebody else's dining table.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I mean, her dad and stepmom live right across the street. They've been very gracious to let me use their Wi-Fi and work from here on days that we had to be over here for something.
Right.
And so that way it didn't interfere with any of that. But again, you know, I hate being a burden on somebody else. I hate displacing somebody else, and you know, just I like having my own place. And so even though it's not the Barndo, you know, we go camping a lot. We love our camper, and so it'll help a lot. And this way, we know we can keep drinks stocked here. We can make some, you know, put some sandwich stuff, or even some frozen stuff that we can cook in the evening. So if we do want to spend the night, you know, we can take advantage of this gorgeous view we've got out here.
Definitely.
You know, and have some suppers out here. I may even bring the Blackstone out here so we can cook out some while we're here in the evenings and stuff. I just think it'll be a whole lot more enjoyable experience.
Well, this has just become now our home away from home until this becomes our home.
Until it becomes home, exactly. And so that's kind of the updates. Let me show you around on some other things that we did. Because of the layout of where the camper is, if you can see, I don't know if you can see that little blue flag, but in between where the temporary power pole is in the camper is where the well's actually going to be dug and going. And so power, water is over here. We end up putting the camper over here. And I'll try not to make you dizzy, guys, but here, way on the other side of that pile of steel right there is where the septic tank is. It's actually off down that hill. And so that posed a little bit of a problem of exactly where do you put the camper? Do you put it to where you got a short hose on your poop scoop? Or do you put it to where your power and your water is easy to hook up? And we decided to go over here where the power and the water is hooked up, simply because had we put it on the other side, we would have had to drag power cords and a water hose all the way across. Right here's the build site. You see where we got holes and strings and everything up like that.
And it's about 150 feet.
Yeah, and it is 150 feet, which is not cheap to run a power cord for that long for a camper. And so we decided it was easier probably to manage the septic from that far. So what we did was we bought this little fella right here. This is a Rhino tank, and it is made for your black waste. And a lot of people use these in state parks and stuff, because a lot of state parks normally don't have full hookups, or they may have water and power, but they don't have a septic hookup. And so a lot of people will buy these, and so that way it extends the time that they have to dump the black tanks. You can actually take your black tank out of your camper, dump it straight into this, and then with this handle right here, you can actually hook it up to your golf cart. It'll actually hook up to the ball on my truck, and I can tow it to the dump station instead of having to move the whole camper, having to unhook the whole camper, unset everything, and take it to the dump station. So what we're going to do is there's where the septic tank's buried. Of course, they left the pipe sticking up so the plumbers can connect to it when we actually do the build. But I went and got another 10-foot section, a couple of elbows, brought it over here to where I don't have to go down that hill. And you see here on the top, I've actually got to where I've got the screw-in plug. And what I'm actually going to do is I'm actually going to shorten this a little bit so it'll go flat, fit flush down in the ground. And then all we got to do is roll that cart from the camper, which is right over there. Just roll it across wherever we can get it. Bring it right over here, roll it right up next to it, and we can dump it right into the sewer here. Right here, it's got a gate on it so that I can tie this right here. It actually came with a little 3-foot hose, flex hose, that I can tie into the sewer connection over there for our build. And then just pop open that valve and it dumps it all straight into the septic tank. This top cap right here is where I'll actually tie in the camper to this from the black tank into this. And then that way when I dump, this is actually a 36-gallon tank. Our black tank is 45 gallons. And so as long as I don't go over 2/3 on our black tank, I can dump it in here. Don't have to worry about it overflowing. And then just cap that top valve off, roll it over, connect the hose to that bottom valve, open it up, and everything will go away for us. It does have 2 little valves on the top here so that you can hook a hose to it and rinse it off. The one on the left there actually has like a spray nozzle, so it'll spray down the hole inside. And the other acts 2 parts, it actually acts as like an exhaust valve so that you can let air in so it don't try to suck it down when you're emptying it, or that way you can actually fill it up with water if you want to flush it really fast. And again, it's got the handle here so you can hook it up to your car. It actually has that orange handle, oversized handle, so you can grab it and pick it up if you needed to. I got the 4-wheel model. There actually is a 2-wheel model of this one. This one you can see it's got the 2 small wheels on the front, and I just felt like that would be easier. That way I can roll it straight over there. And with a 36-gallon tank, it comes with the side exit there, so I don't ever have to stand it up. If you go with some of the smaller tanks, everything comes out of this one port right here, and so then you have to kind of stand it up on its end and all that, and I just really didn't want to have to make it any harder than I had to on myself. So I went ahead and went with the 36-gallon. That way I know it'll hold everything I can put in there, and I can monitor my lights, and this way I don't ever have to stand it up. It also has this little bar right here. That is so you can actually hang it on your rear ladder if you do have a rear ladder. it'll hang right on there, and it even has these little perforations here and here, so that you can take your tie down, and that way it doesn't slide up and down on your tank. It locks that tie down right in there, and you can just ratchet it down to your ladder, and easy transport. So you ain't got to figure out where to put this big old beast if you are taking it camping with you at a state park. And so I thought it was a really cool deal. Again, it's a Rhino 36 gallon. Hadn't actually used it yet, but we've got it here, and I think it's going to make our life a whole lot easier since the situation of where the camper is and all the other utilities are. And so here's our little Debbie, and I will show you, obviously we're not perfectly level here because we are not at a campsite. Now her dad was gracious enough, he came over here with his tractor and took his blade and smoothed it out as good as he could with the tractor, but there is still a little bit of a slope, and we knew they would be. Now he did improve it a bunch, but we had some extra block laying around at the house, and so what we did was we actually came over here and we've actually got these tires blocked up here, and so they're on a big block and like a half a block. And of course we had to build up in front of it, to back up in front of it. I got just a short video. By the time I thought of actually filming it, we was almost done setting it up. But on the other side, it's not quite as much because it does kind of flow off that way. We will put, I was one block short, I'll have to go back to the other house and pick up another block here for the steps. But here on this side, you see, mainly the reason why we did this, we really didn't have to put blocks under this side, but with it being red mud here, we're in Georgia, and this red clay gets nasty. I just wanted them up off the red mud until we should get some grass growing here, and so it's not so bad. And so we did put these under just the half blocks, and so that got leveled up. Of course we use the X-Chocks, it keeps the camper from wobbling so much. And when you do have to put up blocks, you may have to get creative. You see how we had to do the Scotch there, and we had to do the same thing on the other side. So just keep that in mind. Make sure you keep your Scotches in there good.
Okay, I'm ready for you to come back. Just go slow. Keep coming. Go slow, slow, slow. Okay, a little more. Let me check the other side.
And so that's basically a wrap this week, guys. I know it's a short video. Again, I apologize. I know I keep promising you you're going to see steel going up. Maybe next week. We'll see. They're supposed to be back out here Monday. That is, if his guys show up. I mean, I know he's had a lot of trouble keeping help. And, and everybody around here is struggling with it. Restaurants, everything, retail. So hopefully it'll all come about. But that's what we've got this week. I wish I could show you more, but again,
it's coming.
It is. I promise it's coming. Please don't get aggravated with us, guys. We're doing everything we can to show you.
Well, and honestly, this shows you pretty much what your route will be if you decide to build a Barndominium. You'll deal with these same types of issues, I'm sure.
Well, and we get a lot of questions on the Barndominium page where people are asking, hey, have you set up a camper while you're doing your build? You know, a lot of people sell their permanent home in order to finance their build. And so hopefully this gives you a little glimpse of what that would look like. Some of the things, some of the obstacles you may run into as far as, if you're rural, you're going to have a well, the power, and when you have a well, your septic's required to be so many feet apart. Yep. I think it's 100 feet
100
here.
100 feet, yeah. And
so that's the reason why it's across the way here. So maybe that helps some people out that's thinking about doing the camping experience too, and staying in the camper while they're doing their build. So we'll bring you everything we can, guys, and hopefully we get some more going real soon and get to show you some exciting stuff.
Yep. Come on, guys. Follow us along while we do this trek. I think you'll enjoy it.
Yeah. We'll see you next week.
Bye, guys.